Purely when I first started, I had a goal in mind that I wanted to see all Queensland community clubs with a mental health first aid person at their club. And when I first came, SEQ had already had a support squad kind of pilot in place to implement into the rep team. So kind of with a bit of discussion ongoing, we come up that we thought support squad would work really well in the community at all the clubs. So that's how it began, and it is where it is now.
If we can break the stigma down around mental health, and we can actually let our players, coaches, volunteers, mums and dads, anyone involved in rugby league or the community for that matter, know that there is help out there, particularly in the wellbeing space. We are getting a lot better with it as a society, but if we can implement and let people know that, hey, there's people here to talk and we can help point them in the right direction, then we can go a long way to being a part of that solution.
So the support squad people will be mental health first aid trained. A lot of them already have it, which is very beneficial for us. Those that don't will be trained up with their mental health first aid. Also on top of that, Alive, our partner with this program, the suicide prevention company, which is unreal what they provide, and they're providing an online resource for a lot of education for the volunteers.
Alive's been working with QRL for the past 7 seasons. Initially, we started responding to any incident that happened that was a critical incident, with the objective to be able to prevent further crisis and be able to support those that had experienced some kind of trauma or stress due to that experience. And very quickly, we started moving into the prevention and wellbeing space with QRL. So really focusing on how we can prevent those occurrences happening, how we can build resilience in our young athletes, and getting support to the grassroots level of the game, right through to that semi-professional level of the game.
I just thought I'd like to get a little bit more involved about the wellbeing side of sort of rugby league. Suicide's obviously a massive problem with youth. I've had some friends who've gone through some mental health issues themselves. Just thought I'd like to get a little bit more knowledge, and then we are a really big club now, and although we've had a bit of a wellbeing officer here already, just adding to that, and hopefully you can get to a point where these purple shirts that people come up to you and actually want to have a chat.
So really the aim with the support squad is to make sure through using Alive's Get Real Institute, they actually have the resources they need to help young people build protective factors for mental health. So it'll cover things for them like managing stress, balancing their time, really understanding their values, all of the things that help buffer mental health concerns and actually build resilience is actually available for support squad volunteers to use with their players and upskill coaches. So over the time that we invest in support squad, we really want to see at least one support squad member in every of the just under 400 clubs that we have across Queensland, making sure that every club at every level of the game has a wellbeing person they know they can lean into, that has the resources, has the qualifications, and has the information about where further support can be received, making sure that each of our clubs are not just knowing how to respond to crisis, but they're really armed with how to prevent it in the first place.
I think the more support and we get around our players in our community in rugby league around the wellbeing mental health space, the better. So it's something that I'm passionate about, and as soon as the opportunity came up, I jumped at it. I think the training was fantastic. Everything that I was involved in, everyone was fully engaged. So the more training and education we get to people, the better.
So we've got the pilot program to roll out first. We've got 36 volunteers registered into that. They'll be trained up by the start of next season. On top of that, we'll start recruiting in the next month or so for next year as well. So we'll have funds from the QRL to provide more opportunities for the 2022 season, and then ongoing from that. So we're very fortunate to have this pilot, take off, but also use these people as resources to those that want to become part of the support squad as well. to understand the importance of it and use those as our best resource. So we've got the online access to everyone on the qrl.com.au to follow the link on the support squad on there. Join the squad. So by that you'll express your interest through a form there, and I'll get in touch with you. And been very overwhelmed with the amount of people that have already registered and showed their interest. So it'll just be trying to get that across to the whole state, being mindful of funds and that, to make sure that this is spread all the way across the state and not just focused on where we are here in SEQ. I feel like rugby league, we've got the great opportunity to have a ready-made audience. I think rugby league is a lot bigger than the game itself of a weekend. We've got to appreciate that we've got a lot of people in our game that come from broken families, a lot of lonely kids that look to rugby league as their source of fun and happiness. So we need to use that time, right, and understand that we need to eradicate that feeling from that young child or person in our game. And by doing that, creating a space that they feel comfortable, but also upskilling them and being proactive with this space as well. I find at times it's such a reactive space. We wait until something happens and then we react. I want to build that capacity in the participants, so when they get to an adult age and they get down the track, that they've built that solid foundation of the mental health awareness.